Day 23 of your astrological advent calendar. I'm Lindsay. Here we are in the home stretch. Just a few more days to go. This has been a really exciting period, but there is something going on that I wanted to give you a heads up on for the 23rd and 24th. So yesterday I told you about my homegirl, Hildegard von Bingen, my favorite nun, and how she represents the concept of Venus in Capricorn. So before that happens, before Venus moves into Capricorn on the 24th, she's going to have a little bit of an altercation with Neptune. They are going to get into a square because Neptune's at 29 degrees Pisces and Venus will be hanging out on the 29th degree of Sagittarius. Everybody that's going through that last degree of Sag gets some Neptune juice going, and Venus and Neptune have a very interesting combination that they make. So this is Archetypal Universe. We'll go to Ren Butler again, and he says, Venus and Neptune in challenging situations like squares and oppositions, tendencies towards vulnerability, codependence, romantic illusions, confusion or deception, over-idealization in relationships, leading to disappointment. So that is indicating that around December 23rd, going into the 24th, that's just something to keep in mind. You may be having your emotions a little closer to the surface than usual, or stronger desire for connection and reassurance, and maybe having expectations on family to do certain things to, because if we're going through these experiences ourselves and moving towards an enlightened, hopefully, experience of a spiritual path, then we go to a family party. And I think it's Ram Dass says, if you think you're enlightened, go spend a week with your family. Something like that. It's a good quote. But there's some tests, there's some challenges that come with that. These are especially going to happen in meaningful relationships because the ruler of both Pisces and Sagittarius is Jupiter. Jupiter's in Cancer, which is the familial sign. What this could be looking like is potentially some misunderstandings and needing an emotional alignment before things are clearly established to make sense. We may feel sincere about something and be coming from a certain perspective, and then you have to hear Uncle Joe's perspective on something, and it's just like, oh no. This could lead to some disappointment when reality doesn't match what you have imagined things to be, and that often happens with family, and it feels a little more vulnerable, the heightened vulnerability, where we are maybe feeling open to these experiences, and then we go back into these situations where there are expectations or familial roles that you get put into, and that could be a little bit of a challenge at this time. The good thing about Jupiter being exalted in the sign of the family, Cancer, and retrograde is that we are recursively going backwards over some steps that we've already done. And so the feelings and the connections, potentially you're like, oh, I see it now. I think that's the positive side of this Neptune and Venus square. So let's see if we can get one more step deeper. Venus at the end of Sagittarius is going to be an emphasis on belief and honesty and the desire for meaningful relationships, the truth to come out. And Neptune and Pisces, at the end, it's more of an emotional sensitivity, longing and imagination. Boundaries are going to feel kind of weird and soft here. So Venus and Neptune forming a square, which is a 90-degree angle, it could be the over-idealization. Elf is a story about a guy named Buddy who's a human who's raised in the North Pole. He learns that his biological father is actually in New York City.
Sorry I can't ride with you the rest of the way up, but this is where my dad works. Well, have a good time. Oh, I forgot to give you a hug.
So he travels there with the clear hope of wanting to be with his dad and be recognized and become part of his real family.
Dad! I walked all day and night to find you.
You look like you came from the North Pole.
It's exactly where I came from.
So he arrives there, he's emotionally open. He assumes that finding his father would lead to closeness and warmth and relationship.
I found you, Daddy. And guess what? I love you. I love you. I love you.
And Walter is just as far from that as possible. He's focused on his work. He's under pressure. He's emotionally guarded. He really is not into Buddy whatsoever.
I think we should call security.
Good idea. I like to whisper too.
His openness feels really intense in the environment. It just doesn't fit because the environment is shaped by reality.
It's okay, Walter's my father.
Well, your dad's busy right now.
Okay, I'll come back later.
Yeah, you know, you're not going to come back for a while, okay? You're going to go back to Santaland.
Okay.
And he's from a place that's an imagination land where everything is hunky-dory all the time. So schedule, stress, distance, it puts a stress on Buddy as an individual with what he wants, and also on Walter because this is not part of his reality whatsoever. The relationship feels very awkward at first. Very, very awkward. Buddy's expectations move way faster than the support that's offered from his father. There's a lot of stuff that happens in between, but by the end of the show, the connection is changed between the two of them. Walter starts to see Buddy as his family instead of something that's just disrupting his life. And the connection is growing through patience, presence, consistency, time spent together. And Buddy does find belonging through something real rather than something just imaginary in his head, the illusionment. Crystal Advent Calendar, here we go, day 23. Finally learning. It just took me 23 days. Ooh, that didn't open very cleanly. Okay, finally, I've been waiting for this one. This one is obsidian. What a cool shape. It's like a dice. And I could figure it out right away. That's really nice too. What a gift. Obsidian, protection, energy shield, truth, blocks negativity, use as a grounding stone. Yeah, I like this a lot. Protection, energy shield. You kind of felt like Buddy needed an energy shield, and Walter did too. Like they were just coming at from such different worlds, really. The truth had to come out before they could make a connection. So let's just take this back to ourselves again, in reality, not in a Christmas movie. But blocking negativity could be really powerful right now to have in your mind if you do get into these family situations, which are potentially, maybe a little bit more challenging, or maybe they're not. Maybe you take this into your holiday season in the next few days where you're just like ready to process it, because we're at the end of two very powerful signs. Jupiter ruled Sag, Jupiter ruled Pisces, and it's a very positive thing. So overall, even though it's a square, I feel like this will have a very happy ending, and obsidian will help us get through this by protecting a little bit of our hearts and our souls in these times when we can feel a little bit disillusioned by expectations or something like that. All right, something like that. Tomorrow is the 24th. Yeah, another day to share together. I like you just the way you are. My banana bread is just finishing in the oven. Delicious. All right, I will talk to you tomorrow on the 24th. Okay.